Aim at heaven and you will get earth thrown in. Aim at earth and you get neither. God cannot give us a happiness and peace apart from Himself, because it is not there. There is no such thing. I believe in Christianity as I believe that the sun has risen, not only because I see it, but because by it I see everything else. Look for yourself, and you will find in the long run only hatred, loneliness, despair, rage, ruin, and decay. But look for Christ, and you will find Him, and with Him everything else thrown in. Courage is not simply one of the virtues, but the form of every virtue at the testing point. Literature adds to reality, it does not simply describe it. It enriches the necessary competencies that daily life requires and provides, and in this respect, it irrigates the deserts that our lives have already become. I believe in Christianity as I believe that the sun has risen, not only because I see it, but because by it I see everything else. There are two kinds of people, those who say to God, "Thy will be done," and those to whom God says, "All right, then, have it your way." Don't use words too big for the subject. Don't say infinitely when you mean very, otherwise you'll have no word left when you want to talk about something really infinite. No one ever told me that grief felt so like fear. When Christ died, He died for you individually just as much as if you'd been the only man in the world. Reason is the natural order of truth, but imagination is the organ of meaning. 30 was so strange for me. I've really had to come to terms with the fact that I am now a walking and talking adult. Let's pray that the human race never escapes from Earth to spread its iniquity elsewhere. History isn't just the story of bad people doing bad things. It's quite as much a story of people trying to do good things. But somehow, something goes wrong. What we call man's power over nature turns out to be a power exercised by some men over other men with nature as its instrument. Some people feel guilty about their anxieties and regard them as a defect of faith, but they are afflictions, not sins. Like all afflictions, they are, if we can so take them, our share in the passion of Christ. A young man who wishes to remain a sound atheist cannot be too careful of his reading. Always try to use the language so as to make quite clear what you mean and make sure your sentence couldn't mean anything else. A dogmatic belief in objective value is necessary to the very idea of a rule which is not tyranny or an obedience which is not slavery. I gave in, and admitted that God was God. Miracles do not, in fact, break the laws of nature. Nothing that you have not given away will ever be really yours. The long, dull, monotonous years of middle-aged prosperity or middle-aged adversity are excellent campaigning weather for the devil. The lion all began with a picture of a fawn carrying an umbrella and parcels in a snowy wood. This picture had been in my mind since I was about 16. Then one day, when I was about 40, I said to myself, let's try to make a story about it. The real problem is not why some pious, humble, believing people suffer, but why some do not. How incessant and great are the ills with which a prolonged old age is replete. Always prefer the plain direct word to the long, vague one. Don't implement promises, but keep them. Humans are amphibians, half spirit and half animal. As spirits they belong to the eternal world, but as animals they inhabit time.